New Line Cinemas was working on an action-adventure film, but, excuse me, New Line just got purchased by Warner Brothers, and all the projects were put on hold for the moment, so we have almost complete access to this thing. We actually dressed it up a little bit ourselves with some props and such. It's a subway station. Get the feeling you're underground. It's kind of cool. You'll notice on the left you got the production equipment. All around us we have the set. In here is the job of the script supervisor, which is the man or woman that makes sure continuity remains the same from scene to scene. Now, movies aren't like plays. Just a tremor, it's LA, we get them all the time, as long as it doesn't turn into a full-blown earthquake. Okay, that's like I wouldn't say the best thing, Steve, but hang on tight. You got to get in the back over there. Kind of stuck with you right now. It's over. Wait, no, on the right, it's not. There you go on. That was earthquake, our mechanical disaster effect. Now, effects like that, once you get ready for a witch to shoot, the final product can be pretty darn cool. Yeah, stuff blowing up is fun for the whole family. And speaking of disasters, those are one genre of movies, disaster movies, as it were. Genre just means a group of movies that have the same theme, same type. And the first genre we ever did was actually the first movies we ever did were the Western films. Back when we first opened, all we made were Western movies. I mean, we used to turn out 60 Western movies a year. They weren't all good, not by a long shot. However, we used to just crank them out, and they were all filmed pretty much right over here on this street, 6 Points, Texas. These are the real oldest sets on the lot. We're going to let Whoopi Goldberg give you their history.
Did you know that more movies have been shot on these streets than any other spot in the world? Now, during the silent film era, they could shoot up to 6 movies at the same time, one on each one of these 6 streets. That's why it's called 6 Points, because each street had its own bank, its own sheriff's office, its own saloon, and its own hotel. Now, it turns out that this town ain't big enough for both of us. So get on back onto your tram stagecoach thing and get the heck out of here. Go on.
You know, this is the only part of the lot that follows reality. You're in Texas, you head south, you cross the border, look, you're in Mexico. Now, this particular Mexico set was used last year as Peru for Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So, yeah, the sequence with the movie where Indy and Mutt Williams are walking down the street we're driving on right here, talking about Indy as a young man riding with Pancho Villa, which, by the way, is a reference to the first episode of the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, Indiana Jones and the Mystery of the Jackal. And I am such a nerd for knowing that. But at any rate, they walk down the street and they hang a left and they go inside this building, which is the insane asylum where Oxley is being kept. It looked totally different in the movie because that's what you do. You dress stuff up to look like wherever you need it to look like. The reason the movie was shot here is because in an interview, Harrison Ford said, "I'm old, I don't like to travel much anymore." And he didn't. They actually rented out the bulk of this studio last year to film the movie for 3 months straight. And we couldn't talk about it. It was really irritating because we were driving right to the sets and I couldn't say a word about any of it. Anyway, the movie, of course, was directed by Steven Spielberg, who's had a phenomenal history with us. I'll let him tell you in his own words.
When I was about, 16 years old, and I began hanging out at Universal during my summers. When I went to college nearby, I continued to come on the lot and try to become a director. So Universal sort of is my birthplace. This is the place I consider my first home, and I love it here, and I keep coming back.
Now, one of the movies he did for us, which is, to this day, still one of the most exciting, one of the most suspenseful, was a suspense thriller based on a Peter Benchley novel in 1975. It took place in a little town called Amity Island. Of course, they claim they caught the shark. Send a diver in the lake to check things out there.